Hey everybody, it's Curtis. It is the 21st of March and I'm back with another video. First of all, before I get into the contents of this video, I do want to take this time to say a big thank you to everybody that's been watching the previous videos that I've been uploading, everyone that's been contributing to the community with comments and responses, everyone that's been commenting on the YouTube videos, under the YouTube videos, people that have left me messages on Instagram and also on Twitter, on Infinite Investors Instagram and Twitter account, and everyone that's sort of been showing love and support and been subscribing over the last week or so. I really appreciate it, and obviously it's definitely impetus for me to keep on continuing creating this type of videos. For anyone that's new and this is your first video and your first introduction to Infinite Investors, I'm effectively what I would call an infant investor. So I know about the stock market for some time, but I've only really started taking it seriously for the last sort of year or so, maybe 18 months to 2 years. And so when I started the channel, it was because it was out of a desire to have a consolidated place where people that are brand new to the stock market can kind of get easy, simple to digest information without all of the jargon, that helps them make sort of better decisions about investing, etc. And so there's things on the channel, from an animated series about different aspects of the stock market. There's videos about my personal investment progress with free trade. There's obviously videos about stock market updates and news, or news and current events that will have an impact to stock prices, which I've been doing a bit about recently. And there'll be videos like this where actually it's just open questions and debates that get people thinking about different aspects of the stock market. So please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If there's any type of content you want to see, I'm going to be producing as much as I possibly can. I do have a series on different aspects of day trading, such as indicators that I use when I day trade, and a whole heap of stuff. So hit the subscribe button, please like, please share the content, and hopefully we can grow this channel and grow this community together. But today I wanted to sort of open a conversation on how important is ethical investing to you as an investor. Now, for those that don't know what ethical investing is effectively your principles, your ethics being the primary filter of selecting stocks. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the only filter. You obviously will look at the fundamentals and the finances, but it's about being the primary filter. But also what it's about is actually, would you not invest in a company because of certain ethics or practices, etc. So what I'm really trying to gain an understanding of from everyone is, do you solely care about the bottom line and the fundamentals and the balance sheet and the data and the the assets and the debt and the PE ratios and all of the things that that we would look at traditionally when it comes to investing? Or are you also concerned with social, economical, political, cultural issues that surround that organization? So with the case of Airbnb, the Airbnb rental. So where this sort of stemmed from is that when I posted the video in the community, for those watching on YouTube, you might not get the context, but I do post videos on YouTube and also in the community of free trade. And there's a sort of a buzzing community of loads of investors, and we sort of talk about a whole heap of topics. So join free trade, join the community, and sort of get involved. I posted a video on IPOs, and with the potential IPOs that are launching this year, being Airbnb, Slack, Stripe, Uber, Lyft. The topic was around which IPO would you invest in. Now, during the course of that topic, a person in the community mentioned that they wouldn't invest in Airbnb because of their focus, of one of their focuses being primarily on political or cultural sensitivities. And other people had some other and different opinions towards that. Now, this is not about who's right or who's wrong, and this is a judgment-free zone. What this is about is understanding how important ethical concerns are to your investment decision. So in the Airbnb context, what it was is that Airbnb have decided to remove 200 listings. They did this around November last year, that were in the West Bank region, where they felt that they were being pressured by people on the Palestinian side. So because of the conflict between Israel and Palestine, felt that they were being pressured by people on the Palestinian side, that Airbnb is profiting off homes where people have been displaced. So they made the decision to remove listings in that area, and that was the stance that they wanted to take. Now, obviously, Airbnb is a private organization at the moment. They've obviously got private investors, but when it gets into the stock market, those things may affect you as a direct public investor. Now, I don't want it to be about the Airbnb topic, but there are loads of other elements to ethical investing, such as workers' conditions, such as fair pay, such as equality, be it gender, racial, or sexual preferences. It could also be adherence to child labor laws, or it could be any other agricultural issues. Does the company care about their carbon footprint, or are they damaging the environment, or are they trying to help the environment in any way? It could be to do with if you look at, for example, there are companies that maybe deal with a lot of high chemicals, and what they do and how they dispose of those chemicals. It goes into rivers and it goes into seas around certain third world or other nations, whereby actually then it affects their water, and it affects their them consuming it, and people fall sick, and unfortunately people sometimes lose their life because of things like that. When you look at companies like Primark, for instance, whereby they're owned by Associated British Foods, which is on the London Stock Exchange, and Primark has been renowned against a lot of backlash that due to fast fashion, whereby clothes are becoming so cheap these days, the labour that is used in order to produce these clothes at high intensity, and that the clothes are obviously so cheap, so we know that workers aren't being paid potentially a fair amount, has come under a lot of scrutiny. And it's not just Primark, it's loads of other high fashion retailers. I'm just picking up Primark as an example. So there's ethics in a whole different set of verticals, shall we say. And I guess for me, what I want to understand is, how important is ethics to you when making your investment decisions? I wanted to give you a personal story. So in the community, I wrote that I wouldn't invest in a gambling organization. Now, I have nothing against gambling organizations, nor do I have anything against anyone that chooses to exercise their right to gamble. Some people may feel that me investing in the stock market is a part of gambling, which obviously I disagree with. However, I have nothing against these organizations. The reason why I put that into the community, so to give you a story, some time ago, and I don't want to give away my age here, but quite some time ago, I used to work in a bank. Actually, I worked in two banks, but the second bank that I worked in, I used to sell financial products, from loans, credit cards, mortgages, business accounts, bank accounts, everything. So health insurance, life insurance, income protection, a whole bunch of financial products. So I was going through training on the systems for all of these products for about 3 months. And when I got onto the floor and started actually selling to customers, my first customer, it was a Friday evening, it was about to close, maybe about 30 minutes before closing, and a woman came in. And I'm not going to mention the bank's name, but she came in and she was very hysterical. And she came in on my desk and she started shouting at me. Now, obviously, it wasn't personal to me, at least I hope not. But what transpired was that she felt that the bank in question was unlawfully taking money from her account. And sometimes that can happen. Having seen it from the banking side, sometimes there are mistakes and things do happen. So, we looked into it, and there's a whole bunch of different processes you can take to understand where charges are coming from, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And what transpired is that actually those charges obviously wasn't from the bank, but they were from a very, very well-known, high-profile gambling organization. And through a lot of digging and through a lot of calls, it came to the fore that her boyfriend took her took her debit card, sorry, while she was sleeping, and he went online and he made a lot of gambling, I guess, bets, and he lost pretty much all her money. She had a newborn. She wasn't working, and she didn't have any money to sort of, well, from what she was saying, she didn't have any money because of this to sort of feed her newborn child. And so she was crying hysterically at my desk, which obviously affected me. And it got me to a stage where I even wanted to lend her some money just so at least she can get through the weekend, etc. But anyone that knows sort of banking laws and protocols, it's a instant dismissal. You're not allowed to sort of give any customer any money from your personal account. It could be seen as bribery, etc., etc. So my manager reminded me, you can't do that, etc., etc. So I was obviously, distraught that we couldn't really help her. And I was, distraught for her, but I was also distraught for her child. But also I felt for her boyfriend to an extent, because although he's the culprit, there's obviously, an addiction there. There's obviously potentially an issue there that, now affects all of them. And so because of that, I felt that, if I invest in a gambling organization, I'm well within my rights to do so, but I didn't really want to profit of anyone that I feel could potentially be, I guess, in a bad habit or a bad cycle. And that's where I sort of took my position. Now, that kind of extends to, alcohol or drugs or, tobacco, for example. I even debated, should I invest in a company that's tobacco? Now, everyone has the right to smoke should they wish to smoke. But I guess that's the kind of thinking that I want to sort of understand from you guys is, do those factors play a part? Are you sort of, everyone has the right to do whatever they want, which I do agree with also. And so I can invest in whatever I want, and it doesn't really matter what the organization does unless I make money. Or does the ethics play a role in your investment choices? And for me, it would just be really, really helpful to me to understand. And, as I say, it's a judgment-free zone. This is not about who's wrong, who's right, or what your political views are, or what your cultural worldviews are on different political issues. It's more about, are those views critical or important to you when you're trying to make money effectively on the stock market, or is it something that you completely exclude? So please get in the comments, whether it's on the community or whether it's on YouTube. I'd love to hear from you. I'll reply to everything that I sort of see. And let me know how you feel about ethical investing. Is ethical investing important to you as an investor when you're making your investment decisions? Get in the comments. I'll hopefully be back in the next couple of days with a new video, and a portfolio update should be coming soon as well. Other than that, take care, all the best of your portfolio, and happy investing.